I feel like my sweat is almost refreshing the makeup. Today is the day that so many of you have been asking for. I am finally trying the new L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Powder Foundation. So you know the reputation of this foundation already. It went viral on TikTok and YouTube for being this amazing, full coverage, one-of-a-kind powder foundation. However, when it comes to combo skin reviews, they've been mixed, leaning negative. So I'm very interested to see how this will do on my combo, acne-prone, and textured skin. So we're just gonna get straight into it, but first, if you're new here, hi, my name is Miranda. Welcome to my channel where we talk all things budget beauty. If that sounds interesting to you, then become the newest member of the Slashed Squad by hitting subscribe and the bell icon. So a quick rundown of this foundation, as if you haven't heard everyone else talk about it already. It comes in 16 shades, up to 24-hour wear that's waterproof, heat-proof, and sweat-proof. And it's supposed to be full coverage with a natural matte finish that does not transfer. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you know how difficult it has been for me to find this in stores. The brand actually sent them to me when they first launched, and they all broke in the mail, of course. And whenever I went in store, they only had the lightest shade and the darkest shade. But yesterday I finally found one that might work, but it was the closest I've ever gotten, so I just bought it. So I have golden beige here. I think I would have been a little bit closer to true beige, so we'll see. I think it might be a little dark. I already prepped my skin with my vitamin C serum and my SPF moisturizer, so now we're just gonna go straight into the foundation. Now, as you know, the Infallible Fresh Wear Liquid Foundation is my absolute favorite at the drugstore, so high hopes with this one, but I'm not usually a powder foundation kind of person. I'm gonna use the included sponge just to initially swipe on product, because that's like what I see everybody doing on TikTok. Let's see what we can do. It's dark. But, hello, pigment, coverage. You know what? This would actually probably be my perfect summer foundation color because the undertone is right. It's just a little dark on me right now. It's a little early in the year for this color. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do another one on this side. Hopefully we can get this to blend, but I want to maintain the full coverage because that's what this is all about. There is actually already a powder foundation at the drugstore that gives me pretty full coverage. It is the Maybelline one. They have a Superstay full coverage powder foundation that I actually really like. And that one lasts really well on me. So we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna go in with my brush now and start blending and applying a little bit more. Oh, actually this doesn't look too off. As long as we blend it into the neck, I think we'll be fine. I did wait a little bit between my skincare and now, just so that way the powder wouldn't stick to any spots that were necessarily like moist on my skin. If I were to do this again, I might not have gone in with the sponge because I do see like this initial swipe here still, even though I keep kind of applying over it. Wow, the finish is actually really pretty. It does look very natural and smooth. So far, it's not accentuating any fine lines either, which I very much appreciate. We'll see how that changes throughout the day though, because that's actually an issue that I'm having with liquid foundations right now, is that a lot of them are settling into my expression lines, which are on my forehead and my laugh lines. It's also doing a great job blurring my pores, especially on my nose. Yeah. Wow, that's a really, really smooth finish. Now, as I mentioned, I have combo skin, so I definitely get oily on my forehead and my nose area, but also I have textured skin. I do have some bumps around my cheek area, and I'm not seeing this accentuate those, so happy about that. Also, the powder feels flexible on my face. It feels really lightweight, and as I'm applying it, I don't feel like it's drying out my skin. Okay, as far as coverage goes though, I'm gonna be honest with you. I can still see a little bit of my hyperpigmentation right over here and in this area as well. I would say this is medium full at the very, very edge of being full, just because I can still see a little bit of that discoloration underneath. but it is at the same level as most of the liquid foundations that I'm using right now. So I'm not mad at it. For a powder, this is very, very high coverage. Okay, I just did my brows and added a little bit of eye makeup, and I do want to finish off my face makeup with bronzer, blush, and highlight to really see how everything plays together. Because if I'm wearing foundation, I'm probably not going to be wearing it alone. So I've got my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and in theory, everything should go on pretty smoothly over it. Maybe even smoother than over my liquid foundation. Ooh, yeah, we're getting a really pretty blend. Love to see that. I'm gonna just put a little bit up here. I don't really need to warm up my face all that much because this foundation shade already does that. I'm using the peach blush from the I'm Meme Multi-Cube. I just talked about this in my last Amazon beauty video. Yeah, everything's blending on top of it really nicely. Totally seamless. And it doesn't seem like I'm disturbing the foundation by applying product over it. It doesn't look like I'm dragging the foundation out of place at all. So far, so good. And topping off the face with my Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighter in Golden Flower Crown. Now I'm only adding highlight on my cheekbones. I'm not gonna put it on the forehead and the nose and the chin, just so that way we do have enough area of just the foundation that we can really see how it wears throughout the day. Just gonna put on a tinted lip balm to finish it off. So here we are, freshly applied. It is just past 10 in the morning, and right now I have a pretty good first impression of this foundation. I think it looks really good, but I will check in with you in a few hours or whenever I see something happening so we can monitor its performance. Hey everyone, so it's been a few hours now. It is about 10 to 2, and I decided to take an afternoon walk because it's a beautiful 81 degrees out, and I didn't feel like I was really pushing this foundation to its potential, just staying inside all day, especially with the heat proof and sweat proof claims. So I'm gonna try to work up a little bit of a sweat and then do a foundation check-in. Hello, I am back from a 40-minute outdoor walk. You can see I definitely have a bit of a dew about me, but I gotta be honest, I'm looking really closely and I'm not seeing any type of product breakdown or separation, especially where I do feel the most sweaty, which is right under my nose, on either side of my nose, and my forehead. Dare I say that I feel like my sweat is almost refreshing the makeup? Right before I left, I thought that I saw the beginning of product settling in my laugh lines and in my forehead lines. And I think that the sweat actually re-blurred the foundation over those lines. Even on my nose where I can see beads of sweat, I'm not seeing the makeup disturbed. Now I do want to test the transfer proof claim that this foundation makes. So I have just a blank square of toilet paper and I'm gonna press it around my nose and above my upper lip. Okay, I mean, it could be worse. You can see a little bit of that foundation pressed onto the paper where I was the most sweaty. It's not a lot, but it's something. Does that still make this transfer proof? I'll leave that one up to you. Wow, forehead, not a lot coming off actually. So in the grand scheme of things, for a powder foundation up against some midday sweating, this is not bad. Now, pressing a fresh sheet against areas where I don't feel sweaty at all, like my jawline, where there is foundation there though, nothing coming up. I am going to give it another few hours before I share my final verdict. I have a few more errands to run as well as editing, so I'll check in with you at the end of the day. All right, everyone, it has been 11 hours since I put this foundation on, and I'm not going to lie, I went into this really believing that I was not going to like this foundation or it was not going to work for me because I had personal friends of mine with similar skin types that didn't like it, and I was like, if it doesn't work for them, it's not going to work for me. But I mean, 11 hours later, and this looks great. Let me just zoom you in so you can see where we're at. All right, we're up close and personal. The first thing that I want to focus on is the forehead because, as I mentioned, when I started sweating today, I felt like it almost re-blurred my foundation, and I'm not seeing any settling at all within the deep lines of my forehead, which are right here. I usually get product bunching there with almost all of my liquid foundations, and this just didn't do that. And doing a little check-in on my laugh lines, there might be the slightest crease, so subtle. Now let's check in with the nose, because I would say on either side of my nostril is where I typically see the most obvious wear or breakdown or patchiness of foundation. And that's also where I got pretty sweaty during my afternoon walk today. My pores might be slightly more visible if I'm really gonna be picky, but it's typically right here where my foundation becomes uneven at the end of the day. And 11 hours later, everything looks very even. I'm so beyond impressed. Here's the other side. Again, I might be able to see my pores a little bit more visibly. They're not as blurred as before, but the coverage is still there. The evenness is still there. In fact, all over my face, I don't feel like we really lost all that much coverage overall. But I will show a side-by-side before and after shot. You tell me how you think this did, because honestly, my face makeup still looks very smooth over it as well. Like, I would not be able to tell that I've been wearing this all day besides my eye makeup, really. So even though it does seem to be really hit or miss for my combo skin, textured skin, the L'Oreal Infallible Powder Foundation is a win. I am absolutely going to be wearing this a lot this spring and summer. It's so easy. This is just such a nice all over face product. Whether or not I want to do a full face of makeup on top of it, I can see myself reaching for this when I just want to even out my base with a smooth finish. If you've tried this foundation, I want to know, did it work for you? Did it not work for you? What's your skin type? And if you haven't tried it, do you think it would work for you? Let me know in the comments below. Today's shout out goes to Christina. Thanks for being a member of the Slashed Squad. And join me over in this video next, where I share the 8 best drugstore highlighters out there right now. I'll see you over there. Bye!